Hi and welcome back to this video where we are going to paint the landscape below the Nordic Light. Get ready for this exercise. You need a glass of water and then you need to see into your palette if you have brown colors. Here is a little tip. If you don't have a color, you can always try and mix it on a plate. You place yellow, a little red and a little blue together on a plate and mix it all together. If you mix all the three colors, at some point it will start getting brown. You can always use this brown colors in your paper with landscapes. So this was just a little tip you can play with. In my videos, I really focus on learning your watercolor techniques. I will show you in other videos how you can mix colors together. Great! Now you take your brush number 6 and place it in water. Make your color wet and get ready to paint. You place the color on a plate so you can place a little color on that plate and take the color from the plate. So now I'm adding a little tiny color because this landscape is kind of white, so I need the paper to be white. So I only add a little color with the brown color and then I add water to the color. Place your brush in the cup and turn it around so it will be clean. Then use the rest of the water to add it to the color on the paper and make it blur together. Keep adding little color on the paper and then add water to the color and make it flow. Try to imagine you are in a landscape with snow and you want to reflect some of the colors from the sky into the snow. So I'm adding a little bit of light blue into the snow. It's just a tiny dot and it's mixed up with water to make it look like a white color with a bluish kind of brightness. Maybe you have a bigger brush and you can add long strokes with water, so you can add little dots of shades inside this water. Make it blur. Use the water to transportate your color into the motif. If you add too much color, don't be sad. You can use a napkin to remove some of the color again, but be careful you don't press the paper too hard into the paper, because then it would dry out in a strange way. So keep moving on and place more water on the paper. Working forward to your goal. You are almost done with the painting. Just keep working on the painting. Sometimes you take a little break and step away from your paper and take it from a distance. Try and look at your picture and then go back to the picture and take more interest in where you can improve your picture. Maybe you need to add more water to the right side now when we are done with working on the left side, and then you can leave it to dry in the left side while working in the right side, and perhaps you go back to the left side and feel like, oh, maybe I should add a little more dark color here. So you will improve your technique while practicing this lesson. Okay, now we are doing the flat landscape, and in a moment we will go up to the mountains. You can try and imagine that if you have a little water on the mountain, the color will flow easily into the water. So add little dots of water, do one dot at a time, and then you add color to the dot. Then you look at it, watch what happens, and then you use your brush to tell the color where to go to. So it's your choose. You are choosing how you want to remove this color around in your mountain. And you are in charge of how your mountain will look like. So if your mountain is looking a little differently than mine, then don't be sad. Just be happy that you're doing a mountain and that you're working on this process, and you will become a great watercolor artist doing these exercises, and you will learn to paint while you're practicing this. So maybe the first picture you might think you did some kind of arrows, but if you hide it for some days and bring it forward, you suddenly will see that you found the key for some kind of way to paint that maybe will make you happy later. Please note how I placed a lot of color on the mountain right now. It might seem a little too much. Then I can clean my brush and then I add like water into the color and then remove some of the color. So the mountain still would be white. You can choose to match some of the colors from the sky by adding these colors into the landscape. I use my brush to make the mountain like reflect down in the snow, and I use the water for this. Then start again on the other mountain on the other side. You can use a different kind of brown or darker color, so you have like the two mountains will be separated from each other, and you can see that these mountains are meeting in the landscape. Then I add a lot of water to the next mountain, and I place a little color into the water and move it around with my brush number 6. I can add a little blue if I want the snow to reflect blue. Well, now we are almost done with the painting. So in this video, you learned how to use a lot of water and make the color floats into a lot of colors on the sky. We also learned how to paint dry paint on paper. And this is what we are doing now. And then we are adding water to it. So in this video, we are painting with different kinds of technique. And you can use these techniques if you want to paint landscapes. Great. So now we just keep going on until you feel like you are done. You have to learn to register inside yourself the feeling of when is my picture done. And sometimes it comes naturally when the paper starts reacting on too much water or too much color, or the picture just starts getting more ugly. The more you're working on it, the worse it's gonna get. So it's kind of telling you, hey, I'm done, I can't take any more color. So you have to kind of communicate with your paper and feel like, when am I done? So sometimes we stop a little before it's too much, and sometimes we cross the line and then it gets too much. But sometimes we manage to get better results by testing and trying to do a little bit more than first thought. Congratulations! Now you have been through this exercise painting Nordic Light, and the exercise is done now. So great job! I'm so glad you're with me on this watercolor class, and I look forward to teach you in the next video new motifs and landscapes coming up. Look forward to keep going on and don't give up. And remember, you can always take a look at this video once more. You can also feel free to visit me in my gallery in Copenhagen, where I also do watercolor workshops, and you can make appointments if you want to learn something special. So see you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching.